It's an EZA bargain sale, but how many are actually cooking? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. The Saiyan Day EZA info has been tweeted out by JP Dokkan. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the EZAs coming to both Global and JP here in the next 24 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and kick things off with the one I've been looking forward to the most, the Rage, Vegeta, and Bulma. Shout out to the Dokkan Wiki for getting the translations out here quickly to let us know what is going on. So for the Rage, Vegeta, and Bulma, we have a greatly raising attack, which is what they were doing before, and now they are sealing super attack. Now that is really important, that seal super attack, because of what these guys do. If you guys remember, they were a counter unit, so let's see how they improved that in their passive. So they have Key 1 and attack and defense 122%, Key 1 defense 122%, and a high chance of performing a critical hit when there's another Vegeta's family category ally attacking in the same turn. They get defense 80% for 4 turns after receiving an attack, and damage received from normals 40% minus. So that's really good, right? So now they know they can take the normal attacks, especially with that build up on defense. Once they get well, okay, actually his little dot means there's more, right? Attack and defense 100, counters normal attacks with tremendous power, rages when condensers are met. So it's just this counters normal attacks part that's missing. Okay, good to go. We are looking at the rage mode, super attack, lowering defense on top of what it was doing before, but now his rage mode has a passive, which it didn't before, which gives him key 1 and attack 122%. So that's pretty good, having that extra buff in the passive. Now you can deal more damage for that turn that you're in rage mode. So all in all, I love it. All right, you guys know how I feel about the damage reducing counter units like the Great Saiyan. Even at 55%, he was pretty awesome. So being that this guy has sort of the same ability, I think he's going to be good. It's a shame he's not on any 200% teams, but I think he can still cook on Vegeta's family teams for sure. I do have a few setups I want to try out with this card, so I'm excited. Can't wait to test him out in game, but he was not all that came. In fact, there was a whole host of EZAs announced in-game, so we got a lot to take a look at here. So up next, we have the Int God Goku from the same event. He is now greatly raising defense for 1 turn on top of what he was doing before, which, do I have him up? No, I don't have him up here. But he's greatly raising defense for 1 turn. He is now attack and defense 180%. He's launching an additional attack with a high chance of launching another additional attack when HP is 50% or more. He's got an additional attack and defense 20% with each attack performed up to 100%. I like that, right? No, it doesn't have to be a super, right? He just needs to get that additional proc, so perfect. He has effective against all types within the next attacking turn every time he performs 3 or more attacks. I mean, he's all right. He's not going to be the greatest in the world, but I kind of have my thoughts on all of these EZAs, which I will tie in at the end. But all in all, for a unit that awakens from a free-to-play story event, not too bad. Let's move on to the next set here. We have the Int Beerus, the summonable Beerus that awakens from the same Battle of Gods event as the Int Goku. So we have a super attack, raising defense by 50% for 6 turns, so very nice on top of what he was doing before. So I like that. Now he's able to build up some defense, 50% raise. That's the same as what Gogeta was doing, right? AGL Gogeta, so that's going to be pretty good for him. He has attack and defense 150% when performing a super attack, plus an additional attack 30% on with each attack performed up to 150%. He has key 1 and additional attack and defense and launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become any super attack. That's a 50% chance when there's another Bond of Master and Disciple category ally attacking in the same turn. He is effective against all types when attacked enemy is debuffed in any way. So stun, sealed, etc. So pretty good, although you're probably not going to see that very often past, right, the initial phases of any event once enemies can no longer be debuffed, but still gonna be alright. I do think he actually has a 200% team on the Int Kid Gohan, right? He's Bond of Master and Disciple, right, for 200%. So he does have a 200% team on JP. On Global, however, I don't think we have a 200% team for him, so that'll be in time to come. Up next, we have the dual Whis and Int Whis and Tech Whis. We kind of figured this was going to happen. There were really only two other events that awakened from, or two other characters that awakened from that event, so we kind of had to be them, right? So they are raising defense for 1 turn and raising attack for 1 turn on the Tech. To be expected, right? It seems like whenever there's a double batch like this, they always make one the opposite of the other. So here we are with that here. So the Int one is defensive. The Tech one's going to be offensive, raising attack for 1 turn on top of what they had before. The Int's passive is attack and defense 120%. He gives all allies key 3, attack defense 30%. Realm of Gods allies attack defense and chance of performing a critical hit 10% in addition. Siblings Bond category allies attack defense, chance of performing a critical hit 10% in addition, right? So that's cumulative, right? So it stacks on top of each other. So if you're running like a Beerus and Whis team, that's a 50% buff from this guy, from the Int Whis. So very, very nice. And also giving a crit chance. So pretty good, pretty good. The rest of his passive is an additional attack defense 60% for every other Realm of Gods category ally attacking in the same turn, and chance of evading enemies' attacks 25% for every other Siblings Bond ally attacking in the same turn. So again, Beerus and Whis tend to be want to run on teams together. So if you've got a full Beerus and Whis team, this guy on the turn, he's got a 75% chance to touch. That's pretty darn good, okay? Or I'm sorry, that's a 50% because it's every other, right? Okay. Let's look at the Tech now. So the Tech is attack defense 120%, attacked enemy attack defense 20%, minus 20%, and great chance of stunning the attacked target for 1 turn. So in events where you can stun, right, you have a 70% chance to stun and debuff the enemy for 20%. So he's going to work well with that Int Whis, or that Int Beerus. He gets an additional attack defense 60% for every other Realm of Gods category ally in the same turn, plus an additional attack defense 60% for every other Siblings Bond category ally attacking in the same turn. So that's what, a 240? No. 120% buff, right? No, it would be, right, because two per, right? So 120 and then 120 if they're also on that category, right? So yeah, you could have up to a 240% buff here. So I kind of see how they went with this. Not necessarily offensive, defensive. They're both one's more supporting, the other's more tech, right? The Tech Whis is debuffing the enemy, while the Int Whis is buffing your team. So, nice. I like it. I think there could be some use. There could be some good play. I can already picture some teams I'm about to have some fun with over here on Global, despite the fact that they don't really have a 200% team yet. But I think we can have some fun with them. Otherwise, we do have a few other EZAs that were announced about an hour before these guys were all announced. We had the announcement for the sub-EZAs for the AGL God Goku, the STR God Goku, and the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So let's go over their details real quick. They are great. The new edition now, right? We're not really worried about what they do on their leader skill, but this guy, the AGL, is now greatly raising attack and causing supreme damage to the enemy. He's got key 2, attack defense 120%, plus an additional 80% when performing a super attack. He launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when HP is 59% or more. He has an additional attack defense 10% with each attack performed, up to 50%. So again, like the other one, the other God Goku, it's per attack, not super attack. so that's really helpful for building up. He has a chance of performing critical hit 6% with each attack received. Compare that to the SCR. The SCR is basically the exact same thing, except he's more defensive, right? So he is raising attack and defense by 50% for 3 turns, versus this guy who's infinitely stacking attack, and then he's getting an extra 30% damage reduction with each attack received. So one's defensive, one's offensive, although you're probably running this guy more on the Fizz God Goku's team or some other Legendary Existence type team, Realm of Gods type team, whereas this guy you're probably running more on a Tournament of Power team, more than likely, simply because he is on Universal Survival Saga, whereas the others aren't. But I definitely like it. I could see some use for both of them, especially this guy with the damage reduction, knowing that you're probably going to have him in the 3rd slot anyways. This guy might be kind of scary because you'll definitely want to keep him raising attack infinitely, so you want to keep him on rotation. The problem is he may not have the defense necessary for some harder content, but I'll talk more about that at the end. We do have the STR Blue Goku. From this guy is from Future Saga, right? Yeah, he's from the Goku Black arc, so he is raising attack and defense for 1 turn, causing supreme damage to the enemy. He gets key 3 attack and defense 150%. He has an additional attack and defense 50% when performing a super attack, and he has an additional attack and defense and chance of performing a critical hit 30%, and launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when HP is 50% or more. He has an additional attack 70% and chance of performing a critical hit 20% when facing 2 or more enemies. So this guy is definitely designed to be run more in Super Battle Road Extreme Super Battle Road, being that he has all those buffs and he has that extra buff for dealing with 2 or more enemies. So I definitely think he's not as good as the 2 God Gokus, but that's usually how it is, right? There's always one that tends to be way worse than all the others, and then there's always one that tends to be way better, and I think in this case it's probably the SCR God Goku, because damage reduction is such a powerful skill. Combine that with this guy, like, he's going to be okay. He's going to be able to put some damage out, honestly. I think people are overlooking that because they're just seeing that he's not getting defense, but he's going to be able to put out some damage. Remember, these guys basically get Dokkan Fest level stats once they EZA, so they're going to be pretty good. They're not going to be the best ever, but that brings me into what I want to say about all of these EZAs in totality, right? When you look at it in a vacuum, it's kind of hard to see, but we have to understand that these are units that have probably been pulled by everybody multiple times over, right? So if you're a long-term player, you've probably got tons of units better than any of these guys, and there's probably no need to run for this. The way I've been looking at the way they've approached sub-EZAs lately, right? You think about how they approach the 3 Bardoks, the 3 Vegetas. I feel like they're designed more for players who are still trying to fill out their box, right? New players just starting the game. I think that's kind of how they've been approaching it, and I think it really shows with these EZAs, right? These guys aren't the greatest ever. They'll fill the role if you need to put them on a team, but they're not the greatest ever, especially when we talk about Dokkan Fest level EZAs. The only exception might be this Rage Vegeta. I feel like this is going to be pretty good on his counters if we can actually get him built up and in some fun events, but we'll have to wait and test all of them out in game, and you know we are working on their links right now, so make sure you stay tuned for those showcases. They did also announce the EZA details to JP for the Beerus and Whis, but us on Global, we did already have that information thanks to the Dokkan Now, and I did want to give you guys one more heads up. Those 3 sub-EZAs I showed at the end will awaken from this UI Goku event, so before it drops in game, make sure you head on over and use your keys if you got them, so you don't have to spend stamina gathering the medals. It's going to take a while. It took me about a day and a half to get all of the medals because you need quite a bit of medals, like 60 of the rainbow medals, which can take a while. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that before the event drops, and know that we will be live doing these 2 battles when it heads out at 10 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. So anyways, guys, that is the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know which of these EZAs are you most excited for? Again, for me, it's personally this guy, but I could definitely see myself throwing maybe one of those God Gokus onto a team if I just need to clear something real quick. So, anyways, guys, if nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.